G'day folks, and welcome back to my channel. Alex Does, the least educational bushcrafting channel on all of YouTube. My name is Alex and welcome back to the site, to the build, to the bush. We are back here for another couple of days, just 2 days this time, not 3 days like last time. Just 2 days, a one overnighter, and I'm all business today. I've already got all my gear down. I've already been down the creek and got water. I'm not going to bother showing you all that. You've seen it all before. Fortunately, the creek has receded, the water level, so I can step across the creek compared to last week where I had to take sketchy bridge across the flooded, swollen creek to get across. So it's all back to normal down there, which is great. So I think I'm going to have to go and get some stone today because I am working on the fireplace. The fireplace I've turned up here and it is still resplendent, standing strong, partially dried out, a little bit damp in places, but certainly no damage like there was last time from all the flooding. So I'm really happy about that. It is looking rock solid, which is great news. So I'm going to add to that today. That's my #1 priority. Well, actually, it's probably going to be it's my main priority, but it's not the first job I'm going to do. Before I get to any rock work or stone work on the fireplace, the first thing I want to do is take care of this. This is really bugging me, all these overhanging pieces, because this is sure to take an eye out or an ear out, elbow out. So anyway, I want to just knock off, maybe just on this side, I don't know about the other side, but knock off these extra little bits I really should have done last week. So that's bugging me, and it's a bit of a safety issue, so safety third. Let's get those knocked off, and then I'll go and get some stone probably, and we'll start work on the fireplace. Not only that, you're really going to want to stick around for today's video. I'm doing a rack of lamb ribs. You know, they come all stuck together in a rack. One of those things, a lamb rack for dinner. I don't know how I'm going to do that. I've never done that before, so that'll be interesting to see whether that turns out or not. I did bring a couple of extra bits of lighting with me today, so fingers crossed you can actually see me this time. It's so frustrating for me that you can't see me in here. So that's another thing. And obviously, as always, right at the end of the video, I'll show you a sneak peek of what's coming next week. So stick around for that. If you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for notification, hit the thumbs up, hit the comments, yeah. Anyway, just hit it. How about I hit it? Let's hit it. Let's get on with some work. Right, let's go get some stone. That's going to do it for this trip. The bag is starting to split finally, which is not surprising. Just take this back up there, eh? Right. the way. All right, one more. There we go, that's the first row of rocks done for the trip. I'm again reasonably happy with that. I did have an issue with, I had a big one right at the back here, and as I was putting it in, it broke in half, so I spun the two halves around and got them to fit back in, and as I was coming back over it, one of those bits broke in half. But you know, these things happen, you just improvise as you go. So yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm just going to stop for a moment and then I'll come back in a sec. I've got plenty of mud and I've got plenty of rock, and we should be able to get another row on. There we go. That's a second row on for today, and as I've mentioned before, I think that's about the most I want to do in any one go before I get a fire in there and get that clay baking. But yeah, we're getting pretty high. Like, it's about almost as deep as my arm, so that's not too bad, eh? I'm pretty happy with that. It's not, obviously doesn't look too pretty on the outside, but I really like how on the inside, I don't know if you can kind of see, but it doesn't really make it out on camera, but on the inside, the parts that have been fired, it almost looks like it's a solid piece of stone that's been hollowed out. It's really cool. You can't see any joins between any of the stones or anything. It's nice. Okay, so I'm not going to do any more work on that now. I do want to get a fire in there as soon as possible, though. I've only got a little bit of firewood, so I'm going to cut some firewood. All the stuff that I've got there at the moment too is kind of like a lighter kind of softwood. It's not that great. I haven't got any good hardwood cut at the moment, so that's my next job. Alright, got a reasonable amount of firewood cut, not quite as much as I'd like, but hopefully that'll see me through the night. So I'm just going to get the fire going now, and we'll get some coals going. It's still relatively early in the, it's mid-afternoon, but I'm pretty hungry already, so yeah, fingers crossed we'll be able to cook in some light. So you remember I introduced last week that I brought down the lantern, so this has stayed here since last time. Obviously hasn't moved because no one ever comes here, which is really good. But thanks to the wise words of Craig from Bushcraft and Camping Adventures, I decided to introduce that through to the channel, and I was very, very pleased with that. I liked it so much that I got another one. So this is a new one. So there we go, a bit of symmetry, which I also like, having symmetry either side of the fireplace there. And another light that I've got, I grabbed an LED one, just one of these inflatable LED lights, thanks to recommendations from Chris. So thanks, Chris, I like seeing those on your videos, so I thought I'll grab one of those and see what they're like. So yeah, hopefully that'll make a bit of a difference, because I'm so sick of doing everything in the dark here. I mean, I can see, but I know you can't see, and it's frustrating. Right, I'm going to get a fire going. We'll get some of this clay bacon. We'll get some coals burning down, and then we'll be able to start cooking some dinner. Well, I got my rack of ribs out. The fire's ready to start using. I got my rack of ribs out, and it's it's frozen solid. So I'm just going to leave it there, just kind of warming up. I'll get the fire a bit hotter, and shouldn't be too far off before I can start cooking that. But I think it is going to take a little while to cook. Yeah. Right, so this is kind of defrosted, pretty much. Still a little bit cold in the middle, but it'll do. So plenty of salt. I'm just going to go really basic on this. Really basic. Pepper. Right. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to try cooking it in the pan. So you know, pop that in there to start, and going to put that directly on the coals to start with. Let's go. Oh, she's hot. All I really want to do here is just seal the outside like this. Otherwise it'll burn the outside and the inside will be raw. Alright, that should do that. How good does that look? Right, so I've just put a cut into each of these, into the meat, through every second one, but not all the way through to the end. So I'm just going to try, and what I want to try and do is just kind of tie it together so that it'll stand up on its end. So I've just got some cooking string. There we go. It's not pretty, but it'll do. Right. So I've just moved the coals to one side here, because what I'm going to do, what the plan is now, it's really hot in there. I'll build this fire up again and keep it all on this side. And I think with all the reflective heat coming off the rock, it should cook that like it's in an oven. That is the plan anyway. Let's give it a go. All right, trying to get that out. Look at that. Well, you can't even see it, can you? Yeah, up in the light. Yum. Anyway, I'm just going to let that rest while I do the rest. Let it rest while I do the rest. Does that work? Alright, so next up, I just got some halloumi, so that can go in the lamb fat. Let's chuck that in. Oh, some coals would be good. Right, to go with the lamb, I just got a basic salad. Bit of green, yes, salad on my channel. I think this is a first. Some sort of greenery. There we go. So we've got a bit of onion on there. A bit more on there. That's all good. Bit of cucumber. I've got some sun-dried tomato. There we go. What else? Oh, I've got some olives, look very Mediterranean. Halloumi. Burnt. Can't have halloumi without lemon juice. Lemon juice. I also got some, no, don't want that one, don't want that one, this one, balsamic vinegar reduction. Let's chuck a bit of that on. Oh, that looks fancy. Right, let's put that aside and we'll deal with the meat. Is it cooked? That is the question. Oh. That one's not coming undone. There we go. Yum. So let's present that on the plate. Presentation's not the best. Look at that. Oh, I hope you can see it. Yum. Oh, that meat is perfect. Exactly how I like lamb. Might as well tuck that on there as well, eh? Look at that. What a mountain of food. Look at that. It looks more than it is because it's a small plate. Yum. Yum, look at that lamb. How nice does that look? Mm. Mm. Man. That is so tender. Oh. And halloumi, yum. Mm. That's so good. That is so good. Mm. Took a lot longer than I thought it was going to take, but that's so well worth the wait. That's amazing. Mm. Alright, I'm going to eat this. I'll come back to you later. Alright, I did my best. It was a gallant effort, but that was definitely a meal for two. The meat was amazing. It was some of the most tender meat I've eaten in a long time. So I'm going to try and figure out a way of packing this up and try and, pardon me, save it for later. Or tomorrow, more likely. Man, that was so nice. So good. There we go. Lamb on the campfire. It's not really a campfire anymore. It's a fireplace. Lamb in the fireplace. Mm-mm. Alright folks, well that brings that video to an end. As you saw there, I've got my tent set up and all my crap chucked inside the tent now, ready for tonight. I'm just going to kick back and relax. I'm actually having an alcohol-free night this evening, just sitting, relaxing, no technology, no alcohol, no nothing, just sitting and watching the fire and listening to the bush for the next few hours, just as a kind of a cathartic mental reset. Which I highly recommend for everyone. It's a wonderful thing to do, and you certainly walk away a better person the next day. All right, so anyway, as I said, I'm packed up, ready to go. Well, I'm not ready to go to bed, but I'm going to be sitting here for a few hours yet. So we'll bring this video to an end. I'm really happy with the progress once again on the fireplace. It is slowly getting higher and higher. We'll do some more on that. I don't think we're going to do more on that tomorrow, next week. I don't know yet. Maybe I will. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. But I want to get some more wall filling in, weaving, hatching, thinging happening like we did last week. I want to do some of that next week on the wall behind me. So I don't know. I'll play it by ear, see how I feel. Maybe I can manage both. I don't think so. Don't get your hopes up. Lower that bar. Lower that bar. Anyway, yeah, and that meal was amazing. Oh my God. It was the best lamb. I wish I could convey, I just don't know the words to tell you how succulent and tender it was. It was just, I was trying to come up with comparisons as to how tender that meat was. The closest I could come up to was bread. Yeah, that doesn't really work. some reason. I don't know. Anyway, so that brings this video to an end. Stick around for a couple of minutes, or for an extra minute. You'll see a clip of what's going to happen next week, and probably a little bit of something maybe of what I do next week, and hopefully that will entice you to come back into my grasp. Other than that, I really appreciate you coming. I really appreciate you staying to the end. Smash that like button. Join the conversation below. If you're not already a subscriber, hit subscribe. Hit that bell for notification. I will see you next Saturday, 8 a.m. My name is Alex, and this is Alex Does. Hooroo.